Alright, let's go. I'm going to show here how I edit weekly episodes of Streaming Into the Void. I'm signing in now to my Zoom account as we use Zoom for recordings. Of course, I'm using my institutional Zoom account. If you don't have a Zoom account, you can make one for free at zoom.us, but I believe a free Zoom account only allows you to record for 45 minutes, and what's more is that when you're recording locally to your hard drive. We are using Zoom for our recordings, which means we do not have isolated audio tracks. We have one single audio, and that will come into play later when we do the edit. If you record using a free account on zoom.us, I think that records exclusively to your hard drive. In this case, when I make my recordings for Streaming Into the Void, I record to the cloud. There's advantages and disadvantages to recording to the cloud. One of the largest potential disadvantages would be that the recording fails to record, but I don't think that I've ever had that happen, and you could arguably say that trying to record to your hard drive would be just as bad. I think recording to the cloud, especially if you have multiple persons in a meeting, is probably the best approach. You can see here, I've just got them listed as recurring meeting. This is a meeting from today, June 22nd. Started at 11:56 a.m. The recording, as it's set to auto-record. The recording starts the moment the first person joins the meeting. I believe in this case, yep, the first person to join the meeting was David. You can see the recording is 1 hour 39. In that 1 hour and 39, we have the full episode of Streaming Into the Void, as well as the midweek What's New in Streaming episode, and we have probably a lot of pre-show chatter as well. I've set my recordings to record both video, streaming video. I do have the audio transcript. It is an auto transcript. It's, of course, machine generated. It's not perfect in any way. In fact, I do not use it. And then I have the audio-only recording. If you did not have an audio-only recording, you could just download the video version of your recording and work with that. So I'm going to download over here the audio. I'm now going to open Adobe Audition. I'm by no means an expert in Adobe Audition, but it is by far the best tool I've found to make these edits. If I go now in Explorer into my downloads folder, you'll find here the recording I just downloaded. I'm going to pull it into Audition like so, and Audition's going to process it for a moment. Now, before I make any edits, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open the file and I'm going to save as. It saves it as an uncompressed WAV file. I have a folder structure set up. It's in my OneDrive, Documents, Streaming Into the Void, Season 4. This will be episode 49. I only know that it's episode 49 because I have a folder called, my last folder is called episode 48. So now I create a folder called episode 49. I actually go into the episode 48 folder. I select this file here, streaming underscore void underscore so4 underscore ep48 dot original dot wave. I click it once, only once. I go back up. I go down into folder 49. I change the file name to 49. I did that only so I can maintain the consistency in file naming. If I remember to write that out exactly every time, I wouldn't have to do that. But I just clicked out of the file name so I would remember exactly what the name of the file was. There you go. I've changed 48 to 49. I'm saving in this folder called 49. Click Save. Now I'm going to do that again. I'm going to save it as Edit. Never edit your original. Done. Now I can start making quick edits. I can tell first I'm going to shrink out the edit window so I can more fine-grain things, but I can tell already from over here this is all pre-show chatter, we tend to go silent right before we start the recording. So if I were to click over here now and I get the little red bar and I hit the space bar and it starts playing back the audio. So you can tell there's chatter going on here. Alright, let's see, we can go a little bit further down, find another gap. Alright, don't need to hear any of that. Alright, let's not listen to that. Alright, that's actually me complaining about Disney's Wish. Alright, wrestling talk, but we don't need any of that. No, still haven't started. Alright. Alright, so this is what's new in streaming. I recognize it. So where did it start? Yeah, there it is. There it is. Alright, so I'm going to put a Alt mark over here. I hit O on my keyboard and it's highlighted everything before that mark. I'm going to hit delete. There you go. I've just deleted everything. The entire recording now is down to exactly 1 hour and 7 seconds. Now I'm going to find out where What's New in Streaming ends. So let's go get to the end of What's New in Streaming. Not yet. Alright, almost there. So listen to Kim tell us, go watch something. There you go. Now I'm going to hit O. And it's going to take everything from now the beginning of what I have until this mark over here. I'm going to hit Control X, which in Windows, as always, is cut. And I'm going to do File, New, Track Session, Audio File. Actually, what I'm going to do is Edit, Paste to New. That's what I do. There you go. Now I have a 13-minute recording. That is What's New in Streaming. Unedited, but that is What's New in Streaming. It's not saved, so I'm going to hit Control S on my keyboard to save it. And low, I'm going to go up 3 folders. 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to find my folder called What's New in Streaming. I'm going to go to Season 4. Guess what I'm going to do here? My last folder is called Episode 35, so I'm going to click New Folder. Call it Episode 36. I'm going to go into the episode 35 folder. I'm going to select that just so I can get that file name populated down here. I'm going to go up 1. I'm going to go down to episode 36. And there you go. Replace the 35 with the 36. Hit enter or OK. Saved it. And I'm going to do Control W and close this window because I'm done editing What's New in Streaming for now. We will edit that one later in the week. Now I'm back to Streaming Into the Void, which now that What's New in Streaming has been removed is now only 46 minutes long. Little star means that the file is not saved, so if I hit Control S on my keyboard, see now it's saved. Alright, so a little bit of chatter going on before the start of the episode. You can see that, but listen for Kim saying, "Welcome to Streaming Into the Void." There it is. I'm going to put a little mark over there and then hit Out. And hit the backspace to delete it, and here we go. So I'm zooming in and out right now with the scroll wheel on my mouse. That makes it so I can zoom in closer to parts of the video. I can also do that by dragging this box over here. But I can spot when people do breaths, and I tend to just cut those out. So let's repeat that again. Let's scroll back over here. In fact, we have too much dead air at the beginning of the recording, so let's go again. Here we go. Select that, delete. So we get rid of that, select, delete. So you go over here, select that, delete, backspace. There, let's tighten that up a bit. So that is way too much dead air right there. Note that when someone laughs, they usually take a breath afterwards. So if you try to erase that breath, it sounds weird. So here you have, so Kim laughs there. And I can see that she then has her breath there. After you laugh, you then breathe. That's how normal people act. So if I were to delete that there, everything would sound weird. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete this empty space over here. And now just tightening everything up. Now this little clip over there is necessary. Yeah. There you go. I'm trying to move that over. See that? We don't need that. So I selected that and I hit delete. Just a second. So now you listen to it again. Alright, let's go ahead and let's save. And because now we're moving over to Tim's segment, I'm actually going to put a marker there. I'm going to put that there. I'm going to hit M on the keyboard and that puts marker. That's marker number 1. Again, there's a random breath there that we don't need. Alright, let's tighten that up a bit. Yes, there are algorithms you can run through in Audition that will find dead air and it will tighten things up, but there are times when you want silence in the recording, when someone is deadpanning, for instance. So running those algorithms are not ideal, and in fact I have stopped running those. There's also other tools you can use. There is a transcript editor. In fact, Adobe now has their podcast editor, and it will let you edit through transcripts, essentially just by looking at all the words and then selecting the words you want to delete. But it isn't perfect. I've used it a few times. It actually seems to add a lot of dead space in some places and makes things too rapid in others. It's not ideal. This is the best tool I've found so far to do my edits. Others might do better, and in fact, if someone has a suggestion on how I can improve my workflow, I'd love to hear it. So there is too much breath there. Let's tighten that up. Now, Control Z, let's put that back. Alright, so clear, because we don't have separate audio tracks, when people start talking over each other, you just have to cut it even if there's something good there. So let's just delete that and let's find out what's going on here. Oh, that is a good one. Alright, so because the next person to talk is not Kim, we don't need to hear her catch her breath here. So let's go here. There's a little break when he says Korean girls. Let's see if we can remove that break. It's not going to be perfect. Let's give it more. Spend too much time doing this. It's just going to have to be what it is. Alright. Alright, let's put a marker there. Tighten that up, but keep the breath. Too much dead there. Okay. Now, put a marker here as the show begins. That is 1 minute of us bantering before we get to the meat of the thing. I wonder if anybody really wants to hear any of that. 1 minute and 12 seconds. Alright, like that. I can spot the breaths. That's me just catching my breath. So just delete that without even listening to it. America apparently still has large models. Let's see, just cut that out. Yeah, let's cut that. Yes, it's more scripted than you would think. There we go. Get that, get that, get that. See, you don't need that twice. Breath. There you go, cut that. Take out the fat. We don't want the fat. Okay, we are going to need the fat. let's try that. See there? You just cut two statements into one fluid conversation. There's a lot of tic-tac going on there. What's going on there? I don't know what that is. That's rebel mode. Alright, where do we go from here? Alright, this is going to be a mess the next 5 minutes. Alright. Oops. Yeah, you don't want to zoom that in like that, so... yeah, no. Alright, let's try that again. There you go. This is where we want to go. Alright, so mark that and go back to there. In, go to that next marker, out, and we are about to cut. It's about 90 seconds of content. Nope. Cut some more. There we go. This is now, mark this, because this is where we talk box office. So I've clicked on the marker, and I've just written in the words box office. Oh, hold on. All right. All right, take that out. All right, so let's see. All right, so we don't need we twice. Alright, so I'm going to go back into that. Alright. There's this in there somewhere. Yeah, right there. That's what S sounds look like. S sounds and F sounds look very similar. And that's what they look like. Because there's an F sound right there. And sounds like an S sound. Alright. Mark that because we're good from here. Alright, take the like out. We don't need likes. There's a breath there that needs to go. I don't like that sound. Yeah. Tighten that up. Yeah. That's not perfect. Don't need likes. A little bit more from Tim here, I think. Yeah, we don't need the basically. What's going on there? Got away from me. Mark. Do we need Bradley's voice? Yep. Yeah, we don't need the basically. Let's put a mark there. Nope, you missed a K somewhere. I see the word then is here. We see the word then is here as well. We don't need the word then twice, so if you can copy and edit this in such a way so that one just replaces the other. Expectations is here twice, and I think that's it. Yep. So. Cool. Just splice two syllables together. Mark. Oh, stop with the likes. Mark. No. Oh, that worked. Don't need the it's. Alright, this gets tricky here. I remember this. Well, let's say it again. There you go. What is that? That's too loud. see if we can get rid of the its. Still got the old body. Mark it. Alright. Segue. Oh, okay, here we go. end, back to back, end. Yeah, sounds natural. There's more here. Here we go. It means mini parks, not mini theaters. Had to, but it's not there anymore. Whee! Alright. Now we go for 5 minutes about how great Disney Quest was, so we need to get past that. We're still talking Disney Quest. Alright. Here we go. I feel like I'm not always recording system audio. Let's carry on from here.
Experiential.
And in an unusual tangent this week, Redbox. Redbox. Remember Redbox? This week, Redbox. Remember Redbox? Remember Red.
There's too many R's there.
Tangent this week, Redbox. Remember Redbox? It's nearing collapse. Those kiosks you used to see outside the grocery store where you could rent a DVD. those kiosks could rent. Used to see outside the grocery. Those kiosks you used to see outside the grocery store where you.
There we go.
Those kiosks you collapsed. Those kiosks you used to see outside the grocery store where you could rent a DVD. Well, they're headed for bankruptcy.
Yeah, that's right. Who would think that DVD? Who would think that the DVD? Think that? Yeah, that's right. Who would? Who would think? Yeah, that's right. Who would think that the DVD rental business is struggling?
In other news, Redbox was not already in bankruptcy.
I love this story because this is a real thing that happened. Kim and I were somewhere the other day, and I was like, "Hey, did there like to be? Hey, did?" I was like, "Hey, did?" The other day, and I was like, "Hey, didn't there used to be a Redbox here? Let's go look and see if it's here." And I don't think we can find it. Could we, Kim? See if it's here. And I don't think we can find it. Could we, Kim?
So no, not there, but I did go to our local food city. I think it was last weekend, and there was a Redbox there.
All right. Let's play. When was the last time I saw a red box?
Yeah, the ones I've seen around here, most of them are actually turned off or covered over. The few that remain, covered over. The few that remain, or covered over. The few that remain. The fact of the matter is that Redbox as a business is just not really. As a business is just not really, or is just not going to be around for much. This is just not going to be around for much longer. A company called Chicken, a company much longer. A company called Chicken Soup for the Soul, which bought the streaming service Crackle from Sony a few years ago, bought Redbox. Bought Redbox through a leveraged buyout in 2022. Unfortunately, neither Redbox nor Crackle have been very profitable for the company, and the debt has been mounting to the point where they've only this week defaulted on a payment to NBC Universal, from whom they'd been buying DVDs and licensing content for their streaming service. And now they're on the verge of being liquidated. Long story short here is that NBC Universal could end up owning Crackle.
Yeah, I remember our confusion. When we covered that story initially on the podcast. We're like, Chicken Soup for the Soul is buying Redbox? They can do that? So it has been weird to us since then, and Redbox? They can do that? It has been weird to us since then, and this is another one of the examples of somebody in some financial straits thought, hey, you know what we should do is we should get another company, and then that'll really save everything on our financials for a very, very short period of time. It hasn't worked long term because, Raul, you said something interesting here about the DVD purchases. Interesting here about the DVD purchases. Well, DVD purchases, Disney actually got fully out of manufacturing digital media.
Nope.
Or excuse me, Disney got fully out. Disney actually got DVD purchases. Disney got fully out of manufacturing physical media recently, and I think they're relying on, I'm not 100% sure on this, but I think it's Sony is actually making the Sony it's Sony is actually making
That's an S sound right there.
but I think it's Sony is I think it's but I think it's Sony is actually making the Disney discs now. I feel like it's become that rare to even find someone who's in the business of manufacturing them. And since that is Redbox's business model, I mean, they've just been dead company walking for ages.
Alright, the rest of this is all filler.
Do we think?
No, we don't.
Tell you what's so.
Oh,
All right, let's take it. Let's take the
actually, Madam Web.
We should do like a dozen of those and release them at. All right.
Everything in the Spider-Man Sony universe.
All right, we've pretty much covered box office already, right?
Yeah.
All right. So,
Mark. And out.
so since we've
Dead company walking for ages.
since we've already
Alright, this is ratings. Alright, that'll be our first commercial break. Not that it matters, we never get commercials.
For ages.
since we've already covered box office, Tim, let's just go ahead and jump right into the ratings.
Yeah, we have the Nielsen streaming ratings for Monday, May 20th to Sunday, May 26th, 2024. And to nobody's surprise, your top show of the week is still Bridgerton. About 2.2. About week is still Bridgerton. About 2.2 billion after 20 total episodes. People still just watching the hell out of those 4 new episodes that dropped as part of first part of season 3. Or just rewatching the whole damn thing apparently. But yeah, season 3, or just rewatching the whole damn thing apparently. But yeah, as anyone shocked here? Thing apparently. But as anyone shocked here? Watching the whole damn thing apparently. Anyone shocked here? I mean, that's down from last week. But still,
Rollins. Rollins. He declared it dead a couple of weeks ago.
yeah.
David's audio needs better.
But still,
Rollins.
but still,
Rollins. He declared it dead a couple of weeks ago.
yeah.
Alright, we're just gonna have to live with that.
Down from last week, but still,
Rollins. He declared it dead a couple of weeks ago. He declared it.
down from last week, but still,
He declared it dead a couple of weeks ago.
yeah.
I am surprised. I am surprised to see it down from last week, but it's the fact that there is fewer episodes in
Yes.
this new season. So the pattern in this new season. So the pattern that we saw with the pattern that we saw with the last season does not hold. Where in the first week it did great, and the following week it did amazing. It's a little bit inverse this. It's a little bit inverse this season. A little bit inverse this. It did great, and the following week it did amazing. It's a little bit inverse this season, but wait until the next episodes. Netflix has evidently inverse this season, but wait until the next episodes. Netflix has evidently finally figured out that releasing an entire season at once is maybe not best when talking about ratings.
Yeah, they definitely know that there are a select number of shows that people will subscribe for a month for, binge it, and then unsubscribe until the next season. So of course, they're going to split up this, and they did it with Stranger Things, and they did it with.
For the record, Cobra Kai's last season is going to be broken up into 3 parts.
So they're going to split up this, and they did it with Stranger Things, and they did it with. They did it with at least 1 or 2 other shows.
Don't need that.
Stranger Things, and they did it with at least 1 or 2 other shows, where we'll just at least 1 or 2 other shows where we'll just give you the first half now. At least 1 or 2 other shows where we'll just give you the first half now, and then next month we'll give you the second half, so we get at least 2 months of subscriptions out of it. Still in second is Evil from Netflix and Paramount Plus, 719 million minutes viewed, 37 total episodes, as it continues to air its final season on Paramount Plus, and the existing episodes are already on Netflix. Outer Range, we saw that return last week, 476 million minutes, 15 episodes. This one from Prime Video, of course, the second season. Okay, the second season. Of course, the second video, of course. The second season actually dropped in its entirety on May 16th, so this is the first full week for it. So that's
okay.
That's fine again for it. So that's fine again. It's not Fallout, but it's not. That's fine again. It's not Fallout, but they all can't be. They all can't be. Has this been not yet renewed for a 3rd season? So. All can't be. Not yet. But they all can't be. Not yet renewed for a 3rd season, so. But I imagine it will.
I'm not that confident.
All can't be. Not yet renewed for a 3rd season, but I imagine it will.
Awkward silence, awkward silence, awkward silence.
Renewed for 3rd season, but I imagine it will. Ashley Madison, Sex, Lies, and Scandal. We saw that arrive last week too, 389 million minutes, 3 episodes from Netflix. But new in 5th, this is Tires from Netflix, 6 episodes, 230 million minutes. This was, I was like, wait, what the heck was this? Oh, this was the sitcom starring Shane Gillis.
Stop giving this guy attention.
Right?
Seriously.
Yeah, he is or was he is or was canceled or should be canceled, but it somehow just made him more popular, like that Morgan Wallen guy if you listen to country music. But yeah, basically that's enough of that. That's enough of that. Fallout from Prime Video, still hanging on, 322 million minutes, 8 episodes. New in 7th, Jurassic World, Chaos Theory, 310 million minutes viewed. 10 million minutes.
We're change the syllables on million. Million.
The 10 million minutes viewed.
Yeah, there you go.
10 million minutes viewed for 10 episodes from Netflix. This is the latest Jurassic World. Latest Jurassic World. The latest Jurassic World. This is the latest Jurassic World Expanded Universe animated series. Apparently, it's a sequel to Camp Cretaceous, but somehow Cretaceous, but somehow it takes place between the movies. It's all somehow connected, but it's a new, but it connected, but it's a new how connected, but it's a new show up, but it's a new all somehow connected, but it's a new show up right on May 24th. Somehow they're just able to pump these out like super fast because Camp Cretaceous, began in 2020 and somehow had a million episodes. A million episodes. But animated dinosaurs, that's ratings, I guess.
I am so over Jurassic World.
Okay. It's probably a button here somewhere. There it is. You can see it right there.
Bodkin is still here at 8th, 242 million minutes, 7 episodes.
Bodkin.
But guys, we have a max show on the originals chart. Because here is Hacks, 233 million minutes viewed for 26 episodes. So yeah, not a great week for originals, which is probably why it sneaks on. But this is because the 3rd season of the show just about ended in time for these ratings. It premiered at the beginning of May. Premiered at the beginning of May. Released episodes weekly.
Go on.
Released episodes weekly, and will be the last episode of the 3rd season on May 30th. But May released episodes weekly, and will be the last episode of the 3rd season on May 30th. But that's enough for this acclaimed show to get on the ratings for a week.
Yeah, by and large, most of the programming that we consider to be original on Max actually airs on HBO first, like House of the Dragon and everything else. But Hacks is one of the rare shows that streams exclusively on Max without going to HBO first.
Oh, okay. I actually thought it was one of just about all their.
That's why it's original, not acquired.
Oh, okay. I actually thought it was one of just about all their original content was simulcast, but.
All right. Yeah. Well, that noise in the back doesn't help, so let's get it out. Let's just delete that.
Go to HBO first.
It's good to see it though. This is this thing has cleaned up, and it's good to see it though.
All right.
This thing has cleaned up in the awards department.
HBO first.
This thing has cleaned up in the awards department over the last couple of years, so not surprised that it's here. But again, it is a soft week at the bottom of the originals chart. Originals chart. At the bottom of the originals chart. Things do kind of fall off a cliff after pretty good. Things do. Originals chart. Things do kind of fall off a cliff after pretty good. Things do kind of fall off a cliff after pretty good. And also, but new intent. But do kind of fall off a cliff afterward. But new in 10th, Under the Bridge. Under the Bridge, 220 million minutes for 7 episodes. This is not a biopic on the Red Hot Chili Peppers. This is a Hulu true crime drama.
A lot of rambling about this one.
I had to Google what it was, but I think it's interesting that the show creaked up as it approached its season finale, which is probably a good sign about its quality, but it's also a sign that this was overall a weak week. If something, I'm gonna say a sub.
Yeah, weak.
So a sign that this was overall a sub. Was overall. So a sign that this was a sub. That this was over. Also a sign that this was a subpar week.
That's awkward, but deal with it.
But it's also a sign that this was a subpar week. If something is,
Leave some space in there.
but it's also a sign that this was a subpar week. If something is 220 minutes and getting on the charts.
Oh yes, absolutely. Yes, this did release weekly, premiering in April. With 2 episodes adding in April. With 2 episodes adding episodes weekly. The final one May 29th. So we may or may not see it again next week, depending on how. But what the next week, depending on how. Again next week.
No, depending on how.
What the bar is for 10th place. See it again next week, depending on how. But what the on how. So we may or may not see it again next week, depending on how what the bar is. What the may or may not see it again next week, depending on how what the bar is for 10th place on the originals chart. But it's good to see is for 10th place on the originals chart. But it's good to see something just not Netflix from here. It's good to see something just not Netflix. Just chart, but it's good to see something not Netflix from here. Originals chart, but it's good to see something not Netflix from here. It's good to see something not something chart, but it's good to see not Netflix from here. And this does not Netflix from here, and this does Netflix from here, and this does notably star Lily Gladstone.
Alright, onward.
Movies is led by Atlas, 795 million minutes for Netflix. This is, of course, the Jennifer Lopez.
Only AI can beat AI.
Yes.
I hate it so much.
The Jennifer Lopez
it's
movie. Yeah.
awful sounding.
Yeah, about AI that just. Yeah, about. Yeah, about AI. Yeah. About.
Awful sounding.
Yeah, about AI that just looks like it was entirely created by AI, premiering on May 24th.
Yeah, it's not necessarily been a good year for Jennifer Lopez, but she can still count on opening a movie strong on Netflix, so she's got that going for her.
Yeah, how about that world tour? Oh.
Oh, ouch.
Too soon? But yeah, this was, critically But yeah, this was critically trashed, but it was, new content on Netflix. New content on Netflix. On Netflix had that Netflix sheen. Had that Netflix sheen. Had that Netflix sheen. So 18% fresh, but good enough to top the news chart for
18%.
enough to top the news chart for a week. Something else from Max that's not on the acquired chart. Here's Dune Part 2, 711 million minutes from Max, of course. It's from Max. It's from Max, of course. After premiering on May 21st. So most of the week, but good to see. Week, but good to see.
It's always great to see something on the charts that I actually watched.
Yeah, actually, of course, released in theaters in March. Actually, of course, released in theaters in March.
April, May, June, 90 days.
So after less than years in March. After less than 3 months before it made its way to stream. Of course, released in theaters in March. So after less than 3 months.
It seems like 3 months.
March. So after less than of course, released in theaters in March. So after less than 3 months. Of course, released in theaters in March. So after less than 3 months before it made its way to after less than 3 months. Of course, released in theaters in March. So after less than 3 months before it made its way to streaming, but it was one of the bright spots. After less than 3 months before it made its way to streaming, but after less than 3 months before it made its way to streaming. After less than 3 months made its way to streaming, but after less than 3 months it made its way to streaming, but
after 3 months it made its way to streaming.
After less than 3 months it made less than 3 months it made its way to streaming, but after less than 3 months it made its way to streaming, but it was less than 3 months it made its way to streaming, but it was one of the bright spots in box office in 2024. So box office in 2024 in box office in 2024. So good to see that. Was one of the bright spots in box office in 2024. So good to see that actually. 24. So. The bright spots in box office in 2024, so good to see that actually translated to ratings even up to 2024. So good to see that actually translated to ratings even on Max.
Let's save.
Madam Web inexplicably still here for a second week, 635 million minutes on Netflix.
I think it's third week, regardless. It appearing in fourth at Netflix, but
It,
Here, let's take all that out.
million minutes on Netflix, appearing in fourth, and I first gonna make 635 million minutes on Netflix, appearing in fourth, and I first I was excited, and then I was just fourth, and I first in fourth, I was excited, and then I was disappointed. This is A Simple Favor, 613 million minutes for Netflix. I thought for once we had like a genuine phenomenon of where something is in the news and then it turned into ratings. Because this into ratings because this they just announced because they just announced that there would be a sequel to this around this time. Announced that they just announced into ratings because they just announced around this time that there would be a sequel. Around this time that there would be a sequel to around this time that there would be a sequel to it.
Yeah, just forgot to run this time part entirely.
Because they just announced that there would be a sequel to this, with everyone returning. This is the thriller stuff. This is the thrillers. This is the this is the thriller stuff with everyone returning. This is the thriller stuff starring. This is the thrillers starring.
That's a lot of sounds.
This is the thriller starring Blake Lively and Anna Kendrick. But it turns out it showed up on Netflix on May 19th.
Oh my gosh, is that a Sony film? Braun. It's actually Braun Studios, independent. Oh, Lionsgate. Yeah, that's weird.
But it turns out it showed up on Netflix on May 19th. So it's just amazing timing that they decided to announce a sequel and then it showed up on Netflix. So there you go.
Braun, a Canadian company.
It showed up on Netflix. So there you go. I thought the news alone about the sequel was good enough, but no, it's just because Netflix considered it new content. Screw you, Netflix.
Netflixing.
Thelma the Unicorn, we saw that premiere last week, up to 383 million minutes. Saw that premiere last week. Up to 383 million minutes in fifth. Moana from Disney Plus, 279 million minutes. Shrek, 245 million minutes. Mother of the Bride, 224 million minutes. Super Mario Brothers movie, 208 million. And Upgrade, 165 million. So a million and Upgrade, 165 million. So a very soft bottom of the charts this week. This off the bottom of the charts this week. A very soft bottom of the charts this week for streaming in general. Acquired 10 shows we have seen before. Led by Grey's Anatomy, 1.1 billion minutes. Bluey right behind it. Almost 1.1 billion. Right behind it, almost 1.1 billion. But everything else we have seen before. Returning is SpongeBob SquarePants from Paramount Plus in 9th. Special Vic, Law and Order Special Vic. 9th. Law & Order Special Victims Unit is 10th, 583 million minutes. And Suits, 3 million minutes. And Suits actually also returns. Suits and Suits actually also return. Suits actually also actually, and Suits also returns. And Suits also returns for 61 million minutes, and we did talk about on What's New how the final season of that show will finally be arriving on Netflix. Will finally be arriving on Netflix shortly. So give it a month and expect that to shoot back up the chart.
Alright, some side talk over here.
All in
No.
all, go ahead.
So, yeah, probably not for the recording, but notice how Paramount Plus is listed for Young Sheldon.
Yes.
That's got to be an error. I'm on Paramount Plus right now. I'm not seeing it, and last week it wasn't listed.
No.
Okay.
So I'm like, it was definitely listed on Nielsen when I transcribed those ratings yesterday because it was so weird that I actually.
That is really weird.
And it's when I check the webpage now, it still says Max, Netflix, and Paramount Plus. But I am on Paramount Plus right now, and I'm not seeing Young Sheldon, so I'm just gonna fix our chart, even if they don't fix theirs.
Gotcha.
Alright.
Back to shoot back up the chart. All in all, shoot back up the chart. All in all, a quiet week outside of Bridgerton dominating as expected, Bridgerton dominating as expected, and that will return again in a few weeks when the second part of the third season arrives, and of course the stupid AI Jennifer Lopez movie, but AI Jennifer Lopez movie, but yeah, we need something else big again to but yeah, we need something else big. But yeah, we need something else big again to good AI Jennifer Lopez movie. But yeah, we need something else big again to shake these things up because a lot of these shows have been here, and movies actually have been here for way too long. Way too long.
All right, thank you.
So ratings goes from 1348 to 2124. So it was only 8-ish minutes, but that took a long time to edit.
So actually have been here for way too long.
All right, thank you, Tim.
And this goes here.
Hey, thank you, Tim. In our green lights and cancellations this week, going back to the wall again, HBO has begun production of their Game of Thrones spinoff, A Night of the Seven Kingdoms.
Game of Thrones is like The Walking Dead, but for Max.
It's all they got. It's all they got. There's nothing. It's all they got. There's nothing left.
It's definitely a breath in there somewhere. Nope. Alright, moving on.
The French animated kids series Totally Spies just received a 7th season, a decade after the last. But the big news is that Will Ferrell will be producing a live-action adaptation for Amazon MGM.
I assume Will Ferrell will not be starring in one of the leads, as this series about 3 teen girls who are also spies has been a viral sensation in France. There's no indication if it's going to stream on Prime Video, but I can't imagine it will be going anywhere else other than, I don't know, Freevee?
Riz Ahmed has had a comedy series greenlit at Prime Video. Described as a struggling actor on the cusp of landing the role of a lifetime, only to find himself thrust into a full-blown existential crisis and trippy conspiracy thriller all at the same time. Now I'm going to breathe.
I know when I think Riz Ahmed, I always think comedy series.
Hilarious. Hilarious.
I mean, the description alone took me on quite the journey.
Truth. Matt Bomer and Nathan Lane are slated to star in Mid-Century Modern on Hulu. It's described as a Golden Girl series for gay men with Ryan Murphy and the creators of Will and Grace set to produce.
But they're still going to reboot White Collar, right?
I feel
It's too many clicks. What is going on there? Feels like somebody's clicking their mouse. There
I
you
feel
go.
like they should have just named this Phoning It In.
And this week at number 1 in the originals.
Exactly. Alright, Studio Trigger. Exactly. Alright, Studio Trigger announced via Twitter that their adaptation of the 2020 anime Delicious in the Dungeon has been greenlit for a second season on Netflix.
This quirky animated series that meshes fantasy with cooking became a viral hit on Netflix. So there's a few nerds out there that'll be very excited to hear this news.
Yeah, I mean, it does look kind of fun. I haven't watched it, but I will. It's one I would be. I haven't watched it, but it's one I would be willing to give a shot. A new live-action Dora the Explorer movie is in the works for Paramount Plus. Dora and the Search for Sol Dorado has Samantha Lorraine taking over the role of Dora from Isabella Merced, while Jacob Rodriguez will star as her cousin Diego.
Yes! Diego!
Way too excited about the egg.
Clap, clap, clap. Back 5 yards.
Best thing they ever did.
Alright, that's it. Super Bowl callback.
As always, we close out with what's been keeping us busy over the last week, and I don't think we've watched much, but I did watch the Tony Awards, which I just thoroughly enjoyed. The performances were really terrific. Particularly Jonathan Groff, Daniel Radcliffe, and Lindsay Mendez for
Merrily we'll roll along.
Merrily We Roll Along, as well as a very, very wild cabaret. Very, very wild cabaret sequence.
You know what? Watched that sequence. I wasn't impressed.
Wild cabaret sequence. The I will also say sequence. I will also say if you can find yourself the acceptance speeches for both Daniel Radcliffe and Jonathan Groff. They are extremely touching and wonderful. So, good stuff.
No, so necessary.
Touching and wonderful. Good stuff. Good stuff. So, touching and wonderful. Good stuff. Raul, how about you?
Alright. Wasn't paying attention. Just texting my daughter.
So I've actually... Sorry?
I was going to say while we were killing time, I thought for sure Kim was going to do the Iliad and the Odyssey.
No, okay.
So
I'm not stuff. Raul, how about you?
So I've actually been catching up on a lot of stuff I've missed on streaming lately because we're actually running out of hockey to watch. This week I watched Mr. and Mrs. Smith on... This week I watched Mr. and Mrs. Smith on Prime Video. This is the...
Let's just pull it up.
series adaptation of the movies, and it stars... of the movies... adaptation of the movies, and it stars... series adaptation of the movies, and it stars... and it stars... star of the movie, adaptation of the movie, and it stars Donald Glover and Maya Erskine as the spy couple assassins. Couple assassins. I wanted the series to be a whole lot better than it was. I wanted there to be a lot more spying, and I wanted there to be a lot more assassinating. But in the end, what it is a relationship drama of the caliber you would expect to see maybe on broadcast on broadcast television. Maybe the caliber, maybe a little bit better, maybe a little bit. See, maybe on broadcast television, maybe a little bit better, so maybe something like you would see on cable television. Maybe a little bit better, so maybe something like you would see on cable television. That happens to involve two people going through a relationship that are also assassins. Also assassins. Even assassins. Even the action sequences and the assassination bits aren't all that exciting, and aren't all that exciting, and many of them are actually very short, and some of them are in fact totally in the dark, and you can't see anything. So if you're looking for a spy thriller, this one really isn't it. It's unfortunate there is some great supporting roles. There's supporting roles. There's supporting roles. There's one scene. There's one episode. There's supporting roles. There's one episode. Roles. There's one episode with Ron Perlman that I was really looking forward to, but even that one didn't. Really looking forward to, but even that one didn't. Wasn't. wasn't as forward to, but even that one wasn't as satisfying as I wanted it to be. It does feel a lot like Donald Glover and the creator. Does feel a lot like Donald Glover and the creators of this series wanted an excuse to film in scenic locations around the world, and indeed they pulled that off, as they filmed in the Italian Dolomites, they filmed on the shores of Lake Como, and numerous other beautiful locations. So it's a little bit of a travel log. You do get to see very beautiful places, but this is beautiful places, but this is not a thriller. This places, but this is not a thriller. It just happens to involve people who are spies, and I cannot recommend it. I understand it has been renewed for a second season, and I also understand why maybe our protagonists are not returning for that second season, but it is pretty open-ended. There is a possibility that they do return for that second season. We're just going to have to wait and see what happens. There is some intrigue involved there. I just don't know that I'm actually going to come back to find out.
All right.
I'll
Tim's
just go
not
ahead and
there.
go up. Yeah,
I was going to say, okay, David. Okay, Okay. Okay.
fighting with his headset.
Actually going to come back to find out.
This is the point where Tim's power went out. So we don't have Tim for recommendations this week.
Find out.
Okay, David, how about you?
Yeah, I made the regrettable decision that instead of watching Kung Fu Panda 4, I wanted to wait for Kim and she'd fallen asleep. So I finally got around to watching ISS instead, and
Oh, ISS.
as I told Kim this morning, I would add a P to the front of that title, because that's what it was.
Oh, wow.
It was heartbreaking, because it was so many people I liked.
Damn, David.
It actually is a newsroom reunion with the people who played Dawn and Jim on that show was two of the three Americans. I love Ariana DeBose. I just adore her. I think she's so talented. And yet, this script was paper thin, and it wasn't worth the paper it was written on. It was painful. It really was. They had so much fake tension that just didn't work. I was very frustrated, because it was a very good sci-fi movie in that premise, and instead this is just a complete miss.
Alright, here we go. We're confused again about Tim.
I've posted in the Discord,
So,
but
He was
yeah,
also struggling with his voice.
being wherever you listen to.
Alright, and now closing.
Thank you.
So mark that. Go back over here. Outs. Delete.
It's a complete miss.
Thank you for listening to Screaming Into the Void. Please consider subscribing.
Oh, that is a broken word right there. What is that?
Please consider subscribing wherever you listen to podcasts. And we welcome your feedback.
That's right. We record this new every week.
And we welcome your feedback. Remember that we're on social media at Streaming Void and online at streamingvoid.com. If you like what you're hearing,
Alright, here we put a marker because this is when we start playing the outro music.
If you like what you're hearing, please consider becoming a supporter on Patreon at patreon.com/streamingvoid. Be sure to watch for us again next week.
Alright.
Be sure to watch for us again next week.
We'll mark in over here, hit backspace, Control S to save. Alright, so now I need the whoosh sound, because we use the whoosh sound to transition from segments, and the whoosh sound is always kept in the what's new project file, so pull what's new SCSX. Yes, that's what it's called. Whoosh. Double click on that one to open it. Control A to select the file. Go back to your edit. There you go. What's in streaming? Now find me. Ratings.
Company walking for ages.
Alright, so go there. Paste.
Just been a dead company walking for ages.
So, since we've already...
Alright, now we go to end of ratings and we do it again.
Thank you, Tim.
Alright, we can stand for some extra breathing room there. Control V.
Alright, thank you, Tim. In our...
There you go, Control S to save this again. Now we normalize the levels on the audio. We do that by clicking Effects, Amplitude and Compression, Normalize, and set it to -3 decibels. Not a percentage, -3 decibels. Hit Apply. So I did Control A to select the whole thing, and I did Effects, Amplitude, Compression, Normalize, -3 decibels. I'm not going to do it again because I don't need to reduce it another 3 decibels. Close. Save it again. Now I open my Streaming Into the Void project file, SCSX. Yes, I don't know why it's called that. So this is last week's episode. I'm going to select the main track, hit delete. What's going on here? I've got my play-in music and my play-out music. So if I go, hold on, there's the play-in over there, there's the play-out. You can just shrink it down, you can see. There you go. So this is a multi-track recording now. And I have a marker over there. Let's move that over there. Let's make it smaller. So there you go. There's the intro music. I have a marker over here. It says drop audio here. I have just put a marker over there. So I'm going to select this week's recording, which is this one right there. See, episode 49. And I'm going to drag it. And I'm going to put it so it starts. It actually snaps to that. So I can like put it anywhere, but it will snap to that line right there. You see this episode is a little bit longer than last week's because the outro music actually overlaps in the wrong place. So now we come over here and we take the outro music and we move it over a little bit. And we move that over a little bit. There you go. There's that marker we put in where the outro music is supposed to start. So we move this, and again, this will snap to it so you don't have to guess. It'll snap to that right there. So now we have the audio. We have the full episode, which is roughly 28.5 minutes long. We are recording shorter episodes these days. And I think they're tighter episodes, and that's not a bad thing. There's a lot of open files here, which I don't really need to care about. And you do File, not Save or Save As. An SCSX file is not anything that is playable in a podcaster, but you export, multi-track mix down, everything, the entire session, as a, yes, MP4. You click Browse, go up 3 again, because that'll take you to this folder, Streaming Into the Void. You go to Season 4. Once again, now you drop into episode 48, which was last week's episode. You click the only MP3 that is in there. Don't double click it, you don't want to overwrite it. If in fact you try to double click it, it'll ask, whoop. If I click OK now and it saves it, you'd be overwriting last week's episode. You don't want that. So again, browse, go up 1 from here, go down into episode 49. You see there's no MP3s here. So there you go. And save. That's it. That's my final episode. I do not have Tim's segment for this week. He We opted not to re-record him later as his power didn't come back in time, but that's okay. You can save his segment for next week. There we go. We have the episode. It is saved, but you're nowhere near done. So close. Audition. I don't need it anymore. Open up the... Let's see. Don't need that. 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 So we'll open up... Yep, that's Patreon. We go to Patreon. If you're not signed in, you have to sign in. So you click Create. And when you create audio. Select audio, and you find your audio file. The last thing we uploaded to Patreon was last week's What's New in Streaming, which is this. So again, we go up 3 from there, and we drill down into Streaming Into the Void, Season 4, Episode 49. Find your MP3. Don't choose these other files. That's the edit, but without the music. That's the original without any editing. You want the MP3. Double click on it, or click open. Make sure it loads. Make sure it uploads properly before you go and do anything else. The last thing you want to do is create all your content only to realize the file didn't upload. There you go. Now I'm going to double click on my page over here so I can open that in another tab. And I'll see last week's episode. There's last week's episode. I'm going to click on it, and I'm just simply going to use it as a model for this week's episode. I'm copying the title of last week's episode and pasting it into this week's title. So first I changed that, and now I think of a title to give it. Coming to a mall near you. Okay? And now we... Again, Netflix announces big plans for Netflix House. Alright, go back over here. Next thing you want is Nielsen ratings. It's the same link every week. That is a hyperlink right there. Enter. Now you need your show notes. Now because this editor in Patreon is such crap, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to open here in the Google Drive. Note I have this one file over here called Scratch Paper. I'm going to open that. Now I'm going to go to the show notes, and I'm going to copy everything, all the show notes that we had. That's when I'm copying from bottom to top. Doesn't matter, from top to bottom. All the show notes that we had, copy them into this file called Scratch Paper. I'm going to select everything in Scratch Paper and just delete it. Doesn't matter. Paste. So now I have basically a copy of our show notes. I'm going to start stripping away garbage. Don't need ratings in there. Don't need that. Delete, delete. All I want is links. Links, links, links. All these links. Do not do this in your show notes file, because the show notes file is the file you want to keep in perpetuity. And I'll show you why that's important later. We have all our show notes from all our episodes. Alright, so then, alright, you did Sony, you did Cineworld, you did the Redbox, you did the Roblox. Okay, so these, you didn't do Charles Barkley. You didn't do the Paramount story, you didn't do Paramount, you didn't do Paramount, you didn't do Paramount, you didn't do Diamond Sports, so delete those. Now you can go back over here to show notes and find these over here, the Charles Barkley. All of that, you cut that, clean that up a little bit, go down over here, we have a whole section called Leftovers. Just pasted that there. So those will stay there. If ever we want to reference them later, we can put them back into the show notes later. Alright, so now I'm back into the scratch paper file. These are all the show notes for this week. I'm going to copy that. I'm going to come over to Patreon, and I'm going to paste that there. Clean that up a little bit, take out the extra lines. This is particularly important as YouTube has a limited amount of space for a description for your podcasts. So you want to tighten this up. It will cut things off otherwise. Going back again to last week's episode. Last thing you want is this recommendations block, and paste that over here at the bottom. And again, go back to your show notes, find this week's recommendations. They're not recommendations, it's tenuous. See, Tim was going to talk about Grim Dawn. So paste that into the scratch paper. So again, you can select all and delete that. There you go. So what we want is Mr. and Mrs. Smith. So David did not like ISS. I did not like Mr. and Mrs. Smith. And Kim spoke about the Tony Awards. None of this needs to be bold. Now we need links. So go over here to Google and search for Tony Awards. There you go. You can copy link. Tony Awards. And insert link. Mr. and Mrs. Smith, Prime Video. That's the link. Never copy the add link. Oh yeah, that was chunky cool. Never copy the add link because the add link it's not a real link to the actual content. And here, ISS on streaming. So is it available anywhere? Is it on Hulu? Is it on Hulu? It's on Paramount Plus for Showtime is where it is. Well, here we go. I've got Paramount Plus open right now, so let's see if I can find it. ISS. Yeah, there it is. It's on. There it is. Yeah. There's our end of the buzz right there. Alright, let's do this right. It's got the periods in it, doesn't it? Alright, so copy that, go back to, there you go, and paste that. I now have an episode that's ready to go. Get that out of the way and click next. There is a text preview. You just want the this week block, this week. You want to set it to early access so that on Monday it becomes available to everyone. After all, it's going to be public for everyone. At what time? 4 a.m. There you go. So this week, Netflix announces big plans for Netflix House. And I click Publish. That's it. Saturday night, and the podcast has gone live. You click OK. There's a bug now in Patreon where you click here, it's going to think you're trying to navigate away. Whatever. Yes, that's fine. But we have yet, so I'm going to close this now. We have yet to publish to Podbean, which is our actual podcast distributor. This was the one that will take care of our podcast to go out on Monday. I'm going to sign in. I sign in with Google, so I select my Google. I've got my credentials saved in my browser. And I click New Episode. Choose to click the file. Now, of course, I was in this folder earlier to upload it into Patreon, so there's the file already waiting for me. Open. I go back to the Patreon article and I copy the title. We format the title differently on Podbean than we do on Patreon. One of our listeners actually noticed that once. So I'm going to pull up last week's episode. Note that on Patreon we do season and episode number. On Podbean we do date. So I'm going to... That's wrong. See, I didn't do it last week, but I should have. So let's fix last week's first. Where it said 2 weeks ago was June 9th, which means last week should have been June 16th. Let's fix that. June 16, 2024, and I'm going to copy that just as a reminder that we have to do it for this week's episode as well. Update. No, I don't need to do any of that. So, switch tabs over. So this is this week's episode. So if last week's was June 16th, this week will be June 23rd, which is accurate. That is today's episode. Now again, we go back to Patreon. Now this one's going to be easier because I just have to copy all this and paste it in here. Go to the more episode settings. I know that this is season 4, episode 49. So what does it ask me here? Season 4, episode 49. Never gets the episode number right because we publish What's New in Streaming and Streaming Into the Void into the same channel, so it's got all the episode numbers all mixed up. In summary, you paste this week Netflix announces big plans for Netflix House. This is going to be the hardest part of Podbean, choosing when to publish your article. If you click publish now, it's going live, but then why are people subscribing to Patreon? Click your drop down, choose schedule episode. Click on the date. Choose tomorrow in this case, because it's now Sunday morning, it's after midnight. And the hour is 4 a.m., the minute is 00, and down here it says OK. For whatever reason, if you got that messed up and you try to change it, it gets really confused. It's almost easier just to close the tab and try again. Anyway, there you go. Scheduled the episode for Monday at 4 a.m. Now you set your ad time slots in case for whatever reason we get ads someday. It tries to auto set those ad time slots, but it doesn't do a very good job of it. And you don't care about the What's New in Streaming episodes because those are too short to actually put ads in. So click set ad time slots. You see it does this, what they call SPP, which is Smart Pod Ads Point. And it always fails when it tries to do it on anything, but it especially fails on What's New in Streaming because those episodes are only 12 minutes long. So it's trying now, as you've just uploaded the episode, to automatically create the ad time slots for the current episode, but don't bother. Click on it. You don't want any pre-roll ads. We don't like there to be ads before the episode starts, but there are mid-roll ads. There's in fact 2 mid-roll ads. So click in the mid-roll box and click play.
Area 15 at
So
can say
listen to
that
the episode a
the
little bit.
second Friday number
Buster, the likes of which we haven't seen since Barbie, and you could argue it's actually exceeding Barbie, and
it doesn't make everything better.
in box office right now. I mean, it gets.
Yeah.
We're in one of the very, very few films that America decides are worth your time. There is no ceiling to how much you can.
Especially after what
Both the last of the Paramount decrees a few years ago does
Cross various media platforms, things like with the Netflix House, where you can do the
in here. They're guaranteeing
put little, and you're not really is experiential.
And in an unusual tangent this week, Redbox
around here, most of them are actually turned off or covered over. The few that remain are on the verge of being liquidated.
Do is we should get another company, and then that'll the Disney
ratings for Monday.
of manufacturing them. And since that is Redbox's business model, I mean, they've just been a dead company walking for ages.
There you go. So you wait until after the whoosh. The first ad break is before ratings. If you do box office and ratings together, then it's right before box office. So it's going to be 00, 14, 04, enter. Now we have a second ad break right before, right after the ratings, then right before the green lights and cancellations. So let's see if we can find that.
Shrek, 245 million minutes. The second part of the third season arrives.
The Spies just received production of their Game of Thrones.
But yeah, we need something else big again to shake these things up because a lot of these shows have been here, and movies have been here for way too long.
All right, thank you, Tim.
After the whoosh, enter, save. Okay, now alright, we can close the scratch paper document. You can close the show notes document. Go back to your My Drive and don't try to navigate through home. Go to My Drive, drill down into Streaming Into the Void, drill down into show notes. Nope, not yet. So, here's the show notes in the Streaming Into the Void folder. Right click on it and do make a copy. So now we have a copy of show notes and copy of show notes. Take the show notes file and drag it into the show notes folder. It's going to tell you a message saying, oh no, if you move it, the people you're sharing a file with may not have access to it anymore. You just click move. Go into the show notes folder. There it is. There's the file you just moved, and you move it into this folder. Guess what it's going to tell you? Click move. Go into the season 4 folder. Now, of course, you need to create a new folder called Season 04, Episode 49. That's right. We have show note files for every episode of Streaming Into the Void, including our 2 pilot episodes. Yes, move it in there. Now go back up to the Streaming Into the Void folder, and where you had copy of show notes, you can rename that to just show notes. And you open that, and where you had episode 49, it's now episode 50. Where you had June 21, you add 7 days to that. It is now June 28th. All the news for the week ending June 28th. Delete all the news because it's a new week. Oops. You fix ratings. So let's see, it was May 20, it's now May 27th. So it was May 20 through May 26th. It's now May 27th through June 2nd. Delete the ratings. This up. Clean up the green lists and cancellations. Fix all of these. Went into the show notes. There are those leftovers you put in there, plus all other leftovers from previous weeks. Delete. Actually, I still may discuss one of these. Actually, I'll probably talk about Mr. Spade next week. Tim probably will do his Grim Dawn segment. Oops. And we still have the What's New in Streaming to edit and then publish, so we're going to have to do a whole lot of copy and pasting again later, but that's for another day. We are now done for this week. There you go, it was a short week anyway. I think that is everything. Thanks.
Okay, we're back, and we probably sound a lot better now, as I believe this time we have system audio, and I'm using the right microphone. I'm going to show you here how I record the What's New in Streaming episode. It's Tuesday. I did the editing of Streaming Into the Void, the main podcast episode, on Saturday night. This will be a considerably shorter episode. What's New in Streaming gets recorded on, or rather gets edited on Tuesday or Wednesday for publication on Wednesday in Patreon, and then it goes public through Podbean on Friday. I've got here my Adobe Audition. I'm going to open the file. I'm just going to navigate through Explorer. Documents. I call it, the folder is called What's New in Streaming, Season 4. This is where we put the episode. Note that the file, for whatever reason, was called New this week. It's What's New in Streaming. This is where we put the file previously. So we're just going to drag it over into Adobe Audition. Note that the episode itself already is only 13 minutes and 46 seconds long. And
We'll move our cursor to the beginning, cut off a little bit of extra already over here, and it should immediately start with Kim.
Welcome to Streaming Into the Voids, What's New in Streaming,
Cutting out dead air.
where we discuss the highlights of what's available for you. Where we discuss.
No, but she's doing a second take.
Where we discuss.
So delete the first take.
In streaming, where we discuss the highlights of what's available for you to stream the week of June 29th.
That looks like a breath, but that's actually a TH sound. June 29th.
29th.
Delete that.
I'm Kim Hollis, and with me are Raul Buriel, Tim Bridey, and David Mumpower.
This is short and sweet, no silly intros here. 12 seconds into the episode, when we start going into our content, put a little marker there with an M on the keyboard.
We will start with Hulu and Red Swan Season 1 coming July 3rd.
I already know I have some nonsense comments at the end of this one, and I'm going to delete.
Season 1.
So she had to do a second take over here, so we'll delete that.
Season 1 coming July 3rd. Wan Su is a top golf player who dreamt of a perfect life of luxury as part of the upper class.
I really should have rewritten this intro. I believe we cribbed most of this from Hulu's press release.
After marrying the successor of the wealthy Huang Group,
the gist of this is wealthy Asian woman and her bodyguard take on Asian mob.
She became CEO of her own foundation and gained worldwide fame for her charity work. In her new position, she hires a bodyguard who excels at martial arts and graduated from a police university.
What's a police university?
With her bodyguard, Wan Su learns and faces a dark secret of the Huang family.
Just get rid of all this.
Basically.
Oh.
It's a
Yeah, alright.
Sounds just like the Michelle Yeoh series that just...
Yes, that's the Mother's Son. Is that what it was called?
Sounds just like the Michelle Yeoh series that just got canceled.
That was probably a better series than this. Delete it all.
Who learns and faces a dark secret of the Huang family. All right, also new.
Yeah, get rid of that.
Huang family. Also new from Hulu is Land of Tanabata Season 1.
Why do I always get the ones that are hard to pronounce?
Land of Tanabata Season 1 coming July 4th.
You gotta already tell I'm gonna have trouble with this.
in this live action manga adaptation, Namaru is a college student. Namaru
Merge a couple of syllables together, make that work.
adaptation. Namaru is
Nope.
Manga adaptation. Namaru is a college student with a supernatural ability that enables him to generate small holes in anything. Despite this seemingly insignificant power, he must confront a crisis that threatens the entire world.
Onward.
Okay, we move on to Netflix and Alone Season 10 coming June 30th.
Wait for it. Wait for it.
Season 10.
There it is.
10 survive.
I didn't need my breath there.
10 survivalists compete to outlast each other in the
Where does that start? There. Nope.
Where's that 4?
Forbidden
Right there.
to outlast each other in the forbidding wilderness of Reindeer Lake, Saskatchewan. Who will tap out? And who will cash in? Why, it might be our friend Reagan Selesky, who's from that neck of the woods.
That's all I needed. I read that on his back. No.
Reagan wouldn't be good at this because he's 6'8". That's too big a target.
Okay. On July. Okay. Okay.
All right, that's where it goes.
And who will cash from that neck of the woods?
Okay.
I don't think we need that. That's me laughing and then Kim.
The woods.
Okay.
That's all right. No, that's too much of a breath right there.
Okay. On July 1st is Suits. First is Suits, season 9.
Yeah, you know how all everyone did last summer was just watch Suits because it was
Take out the just. It shouldn't be there.
summer was watch Suits because it was on Netflix and it dominated the ratings for months. Turns out they were still missing the last season until now. Until now.
All right. I think there's a comment from Kim coming up. Woo! Suits Frenzy Part 2. Suits Frenzy Part 2.
Absolutely.
That's right. Let's see that come back to the charts very soon.
I don't want to live on this planet anymore.
Also coming July 1st is Star Trek Prodigy Season 2. Now Starfleet trainees, Dal and his friends embark on another adventure to solve the mystery of the protostar and save a planet from destruction.
And as we've previously predicted, more people are probably going to watch Star Trek. More people are probably going to watch Star Trek Prodigy now than they ever did on Paramount Plus.
You bet. Next up is Zag Heroes, Miraculous World.
You know it's edgy because they spelled heroes with a Z.
That's right. That's right.
Hoping to hang out with her school crush, an undercover teen superhero travels to Shanghai, where she loses all her stuff, including her magical jewels.
On July 2nd is Sprint, Unlimited Series.
Elite sprinters navigate training, media scrutiny, and navigate training, media.
That's going to be hard.
Navigate training, media scrutiny, and fierce competition in this sports series following tier race.
Oh my God, we spent the longest time on this. It's the word there, not tier.
I think it's there, just misspelled.
Can you give me another read on that, David?
If I can get the mute button. Okay. Elite sprinters navigate. Elite.
That's 2 minutes of my life I'm never getting back. Oh my God. Where did you cut it?
Tier race. I don't understand.
Oh, okay, so it's not a T-Mobile thing.
Elite sprinters.
There you go. After all that work, in the end, you just went with a different take.
Elite sprint.
Unlimited Series.
Elite sprinters navigate elite elite sprinters
Series.
Elite sprinters navigate training, media scrutiny, and fierce competition in this sports series following their race to become the world's fastest humans.
There you go.
And we have now given this much more attention than it's ever going to get on Netflix.
Absolutely. Here's sort of a big one. On July 3rd, it's Beverly Hills Cop. Axel F.
Oh, wow. 40 years after his unforgettable first case in Beverly Hills, Detroit cop Axel Foley returns to do what he does best. Solve crimes and cause chaos. Eddie Murphy, Judge Reinhold, John Ashton, Paul Reiser, and Bronson Pinchot return from the original films. And this one adds Kevin Bacon, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and Taylor Page.
Here's a whole bunch of people you didn't know were still alive.
They're all still here. Also on July 3rd is The Man with 1,000 Kids, a limited series. A group of families learn the charismatic man they had trusted is a sperm donor. Is a sperm donor. It is a sperm donor 200. It is a sperm.
Let's just do it like that.
They had trusted is a sperm donor 200s, or perhaps 200s, or perhaps thousands of other children across the world. We move on to July 4th and Barbecue Showdown Season 3.
The mouth-watering cooking competition returns as 9 contestants face off in a fiery battle to be the next barbecue champion.
What perfect 4th of July fare. Also on July 4th is Rhythm and Flow France Season 3.
New jury, new rules. Superstar judges SCH, SDM, and Aya Nakamura shake it up in their quest to crown the biggest name in French language rap.
None of that is real. None of that is real.
That was too much of a pop there.
None of that is real. None of that is real.
Okay, we move on to July 5th and Desperate Lies Season 1.
In this Brazilian series, due to a rare phenomenon, a woman finds herself pregnant with twins by 2 men.
Okay.
No idea if the man with 1,000 kids is responsible for that, but over time, she's 2 men. No idea if the man with 1,000 kids is responsible for that, but over time, she strives to keep her family united and her secrets hidden.
Also on July 5th is Goyo. In this Spanish-language Argentinian film, a young autistic museum guide lives by a strict routine until he falls in love with his coworker and must confront a whirlwind of new, intense emotions.
Kinda.
Okay. Intense emotions. Okay, our final new Netflix release is a very well-reviewed one called The Imaginary, which debuts
What is that?
called The Imaginary, which debuts July 5th.
Rudger, a made-up friend, gets separated from his best friend Amanda and must team up with lost imaginaries to get back to her to get back to get to get to get back to her before he fades away. Must team up with lost imaginaries to get back to her before he fades away. This Japanese anime movie looks stunning, like a Miyazaki movie, which makes sense as it was directed by
All right. It's now 2 minutes of me trying to pronounce the name.
who did animation for Momosi, directed by Yoshiyuki Momosi.
Yoshiyuki Momosi. When you're reading it off the page, you just can't say it.
Makes sense as movie, which makes sense as it was directed by Yoshiyuki Momosi, who did animation for Spirited Away.
Yoshiyuki Momosi. It's probably Momosi.
We move on to Disney Plus and Zombies.
Ugh. I'd rather watch Shark Week.
Zombies, the reanimated series, Season 1, coming June 29th.
Get ready for more musical fun and new friends as Seabrook becomes the #1 destination for all kinds. Let me try that again. For Seabrook becomes the #1 destination for all kinds of mythical monsters looking for a fresh start. My voice did a teenager on the. My voice did a teenager of mythical monsters looking for a fresh start.
Also from Disney Plus is Shark Fest, coming June 30th.
Not to be confused with Discovery Channel's Shark Week, because that's next week. National Geographic launches Shark Fest with a series of exploitive content not worth mentioning.
Yeah, this is more of a warning.
Yeah, I was all excited about the one called Baby Sharks, but then I realized it was really about baby sharks, not baby sharks. And finally from Disney Plus, here come the ratings, because it's Bluey Minisodes.
That sounded like a good take right there.
Bluey Minisodes.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because it's Here come the ratings, because it's Bluey Minisodes.
There's an S in there somewhere. Yeah.
Because it's Bluey Minisodes. These short episodes are a collection of funny and sweet moments with the Healer family. There will be some new characters alongside fan favorites, including Unicorse, Nana, and Bob Healer. And this will debut on July 3rd.
It's Bluey's world. We're all just living in it.
That's right. Bluey defeats evil over and over again. Okay.
Yeah, we don't need that. That didn't land.
Okay.
Kim,
Yes.
That was a weird. Yeah, we don't need that.
cut it out.
Bluey Minisodes.
Nah, we already had it.
Third.
It's Bluey's world. We're all just living in it.
All right, we move on to Peacock and Kung Fu Panda 4, which we learned was released on June 21st. After June 21st, because apparently Apparently, that news was definitely announced 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, Deadline seems to be putting those out more frequently, so we got to pay attention to that.
Weeks ago. 2 weeks ago. It definitely came to Peacock this week.
Yeah, we turned it on last night. I made an error in judgment and watched something else instead, but I was happy to see it because we missed this one in theaters. That's the first Kung Fu Panda we haven't watched in theaters. Big fans of the franchise. We'll probably watch it tonight.
That's right. That's right. Our final new release for the week is Space Cadet.
Oh, and I get it.
Coming July 4th to Amazon Prime Video.
Tiffany Rex Simpson has always dreamed of going to space, but life isn't going quite as planned. Determined to turn things around, she aims high with the embellishing touch. She aims high. Determined to turn things around, she aims high.
What the hell?
High.
High.
Things turn. Determined to turn things around, she aims.
There?
Things around, she aims.
Yeah, there.
Turn things around, she aims high, and with the embellishing touch, she aims high, and with the embellishing touch.
Nope.
Aims high, and with the embellishing touch. Things around, she aims high, and with.
Yeah, no, wait, that was right.
And with the embellishing touch of her best friend Nadine, her doctored application lands her in NASA's ultra-competitive astronaut training program. This stars Emma Roberts, Poppy Lou, Gabrielle. Stars Emma Roberts, Poppy Lou, Gabrielle.
It's terrible.
Emma Roberts, Poppy Lou, Gabrielle Union, and Tom Hopper. There's Emma Roberts, Poppy Lou, Gabrielle Union, and Tom Hopper. And Tom Hopper. It's kind of like
go ahead.
It's kind of like Legally Blonde, but like by Nickelodeon.
So this week there's not much. So
All right, we don't need that. We don't need this.
It's kind of like
we don't need
Blonde.
this. We don't need that. We don't need any of that. Let's add some space in there. Let's find some space and add some space. Copy that. Paste. Paste. There you go.
And Tom Hopper.
So this week there's not much that's new, but The Imaginary does look lovely, so I might give that one a shot.
Mark it.
I'm just going to go back to.
I had something for Space Camp.
No, you didn't.
Yeah,
No, no, you didn't.
I miss Cape.
No.
You've never seen it? It was on Cape.
Yeah, Space Camp. I get it.
I've never seen it either.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, I'm just going to go back.
There you go. This is what we need.
Mary does look lovely, so I might give that one a shot.
Yeah, I'm just going to go back to last week and watch The Bear again.
There you go. So go watch something.
That's it. Delete that. Save that. Normalize amplitude and compression. Normalize to -3 decibels, not percentage decibels. Apply. Save. Copy. Open your SESX template for what's new, not the one for Streaming Into the Void. Delete last week's episode by clicking on it and hitting delete. Finding this week's episode and dragging it to where it says drop audio here, which is right after the opening whoosh. Whoosh. There's no closing whoosh, so you don't have to worry about that. There it is as it converts it into a manageable file. And save the project file and export it. Multi-track mixdown like before. Entire session, browse. Now the last file we saved was the Streaming Into the Void file, so now we have to go up 3 folders, 1, 2, 3, and then we find what's new in streaming. Open. Just go into episode 35 just so we can get that file name as a template. Go up 1, go to episode 36, replace the 5 in the file name to 6, and hit save. It'll just take a moment for it to export. It's not bad. You'll note, by the way, we started like what, with a 13-minute episode, and we're down to 7 minutes. In fact, it took me less than half an hour to edit what amounted to a 7-minute episode. All right, we can close Audition. We don't need it anymore. We can close the file folder for right now. We are gonna open Patreon first. And what's this? New features, great. Create an audio entry. Select the audio file. Now remember that the last audio file we uploaded was Streaming Into the Void, so we go up 3 folders, find what's new, go down 3 folders. If you ever doubt that you're uploading the right file, just check the date and time. There it is. That's the one from today. Click open. It's going to upload. Don't navigate away until the file is uploaded. You don't want to spend a whole bunch of time formatting your Patreon upload just to realize that the file didn't actually upload. We are going to open last week's file and use some of that as a template for this week's file. So find me. There you go. What's new in streaming. Copy that. Paste that here. 22 plus 7 is 29. Copy this here. Again, place that. We just keep that Hulu there because we know that's where it starts. Now we can close last week's file before you accidentally overwrite it for some reason. Go back to my drive. Open up your scratch paper file. Go to your show notes. Go to the first entry in the show notes, which is Hulu, and I'm going to do Control-Shift-End to select everything. I'm going to copy everything. I'm going to paste it into the show notes. Copy. Paste. Sometimes paste doesn't work when you do it on the keyboard, but if you right click and you click paste, there you go. Alright, we're going to close the show notes for right now so that we don't accidentally screw them up. And we start stripping things away. So take out that. You don't need the date. We already know what date it is. You take out the descriptions. Remember, you have to keep the show notes kind of brief because not everything is going to show up in the descriptions of everything. Like in YouTube, the description of an episode is rather short. So if we left the title of everything if we put in more than just the title of the episode, nothing would make it into the show notes, or at least into the description in YouTube. You'll note that we highlight all the all the shows we're going to be talking about this week, so it makes it easier for us to spot and read. There you go. Next is Disney Plus, I believe. Yeah, there it is. Yes, Elite Week is coming. We saw it. Alright. Nothing at Max, nothing at Paramount. Peacock had Kung Fu Panda, although we missed it. But we're going to put it in this week's notes. And Space Cadet. So it was a very short week. So delete that. I'm going to put my cursor over here, Control Shift N. I'm just going to hit backspace to delete it all. There. All of this so that we don't have to do our editing in the Patreon. What's that? In the Patreon editor, because it's a mess. So you see these dark ones here, those are because we have links to the trailers on YouTube. See how it says Hulu there? Because we kept the Hulu from last week. We put in heading the name of the streamer. So there's like 2 titles on Hulu. This is not highlighted because there's no link to a trailer. Blah, blah, blah. No link to a trailer, 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 no link to a trailer. But look, of course we have the trailer of Beverly Hills Cop. It just goes through YouTube and so on and so forth. There you go. There's Disney Plus, heading, 3 shows on Disney Plus. Then we have Peacock, heading, Kung Fu Panda, and then we have Prime Video, heading. That's it. I'm going to move this little thing out of the way and click Next. So now we fix the text preview, which will just say highlights of what's new in streaming for the week of June 29th. So there's an extra space there, isn't there? We'll set it to early access, so it will publish immediately, but will become freely available to all persons at 4 a.m. on Friday. All our content on Patreon becomes free eventually. It's just not free immediately to all people. Our Patreons get early access to stuff and publish. As with the last one, the moment I click OK over here, Patreon's going to freak out and think I'm trying to navigate away. I don't know why it does that, but that's a Patreon problem. That is not a me problem. Oh no! Alright, now that I've done that, I can go over to Podbean, sign in. We use our Google account. We'll click. Yeah, those are good numbers. New episode. Choose file to upload. There's that file because it's in the folder. It's the same folder we were in earlier. Open. This one's going to be easy. Just basically a whole lot of copy paste. Make sure you get the season 4, episode 36. Get the season and episode right. Remember, this is never going to be right because we're publishing 2 series through 1 sequence in Podbean. We're streaming what's new in... Well, we're publishing Streaming Into the Void and Streaming Into the Void what's new in streaming. And so it gets very confused as to what episode's what. Copy this over here, paste that into the description over here. Now again, you have to do the schedule of the episode, and if you get that wrong, it gets all confused. There you go. It's a little bit glitchy sometimes. Oops. Let's get this out of the way. Click OK. So it's scheduled to publish at the same time that the episode goes free on Patreon is when the episode becomes available via Podbean and all the podcast aggregators. And schedule episode. Alright, no ad inserts for what's in streaming. It's 7 minutes long. I'm not going to make you listen to an ad. And what's more, we don't have ads anyway, so it doesn't matter. Nobody buys ads on our show. Alright, we don't care about the scratch paper. So we go into Streaming Into the Void and find the show notes. We've already backed up the last week of show notes. This is in fact next week's or this coming week's show notes, but it's still got what's new episodes for the previous week. So now I have to go back through here again, basically doing the reverse of what I did earlier where I saved only the highlighted stuff. Now in fact I'm deleting the highlighted stuff. I did that in the scratch paper. Now I'm doing this in the show notes. That's everything. So anywhere where it says June 29th gets deleted. because the following week is July 6th. The end of the month is always harder to find new content, maybe because streamers put less new content out at the end of the month, and also because, especially when it rolls over, a lot of our sources have content, say, for the month of June. And if there's a show that premieres on July 1st, the source that tells us what's going to be available in July the website will only update in July. So when you're trying to tell us what's going to be coming out in July, and the first day of the month is in the middle of the week, it's such a chore trying to find the right shows. All right, now we start highlighting things. We populate stuff as we go, but by the end of the week, Kim takes care of most of this. She goes through her sources and populates it properly. So we already know, for instance, that on Hulu there's going to be Mastermind, To Think Like a Killer Season 1. There might be a couple of other shows. If there are, Kim will find them. But look what's coming up the following week. Season 2 of Hit Monkey. Oh, as well as this Kerry Washington comedy from... I forget what it's called. Oh well. I'll remember it later, but look, they put John Stamos on the show for season 2. And of course, Only Murders in the Building coming up in late August, and Futurama coming up in late July. So we know, of course, that there's going to be a whole bunch of stuff coming up next weekend on Netflix, because there always is. We'll get some descriptions and fill that out later. I'm trying to remember what Everlasting is. Oh, Onyx Collective. That's what that thing is on Hulu from Unprisoned. Receiver, another one of Netflix's sports shows focusing on NFL players. Oh, the Exploding Kittens cartoon coming up next week. And the following week, oh yay, the last season of Cobra Kai. That's exciting. Shocked that it's taken this long for Skywalker's A Love Story to get to streaming. I think that thing's been in the festival circuit for years, in fact, at this point. Alright. Oh, there's that Descendants, The Rise of Red. That one's been getting a lot of buzz lately. Nothing on Max that we know of, but if there is anything, Kim will find it. A Melissa Etheridge documentary coming up to Paramount Plus. Nothing on Peacock that we know about, but I bet you they'll have a movie or two. We'll find those. Apparently there's a Sausage Party series coming up. Sausage Party Fruitopia. Yeah, Freevee, still a thing. MGM Plus. Not a real streaming service. Challenger's coming up on MGM Plus, July 29th. Oh yeah, that Rashida Jones series on Apple TV Plus coming up. Time Bandits, July 24th. That's exciting. Man, Apple has a lot of good stuff coming up. Snowpiercer coming up in 2 weeks. Roku channel, nothing. I bet there's something, we just don't know it. Tubi as well, they don't promote their stuff very well. Stars has the new season of The Serpent Queen with Samantha Morton. And we already know that the second part of the last season of Outlander will be coming up in November. I think that's all the highlighting I needed to do. Just going back, giving you another pass. Yep, there you see. Elite Week coming up at some point later on this year. That's it. Well, I appreciate your patience and for sitting all the way through this. I hope maybe you learned a little something, and in fact, if you know a few things that I don't know, please share them with me in the comments below. And if you're interested in learning more about Streaming Into the Void, you know what to do. Like and subscribe and smash that bell.